and welcome to the call. And I am back. Some of you may be thinking, what the heck George was, because in the last 3 weeks you had different people like Edwin Carbonell most of the time, Leanne Jackson, Alex Cooking, Tracy Larson, etc. They did different presentations, and by the way, all of them did a fantastic job. I was doing actually a personal training that the classes or the training was every Monday night. And for those of you that know me, you know how excited I am about taking anything that has to do with personal training. I mean, it was amazing, and many of those things probably are coming in some of my emails, some of the things that I learned. But anyway, guys, today I'm really excited. Some of you received already, or many of you, probably all of you received the emails that I sent you. And those emails I was talking about, the power of telling the story, and that's what we are going to cover today or tonight. Now, some legalities, and I love to say this one, the results that you're going to have are not typical. Nothing happening, you do nothing. This is called network marketing. Network. If you don't work, you don't eat. If you're looking for free lunch, you are in the wrong place. Complainers, people looking for us to build your business, please do not continue. The results are your responsibility and not ours. I'm going to be talking about numbers, and the reason I'm putting this up front is because some of you probably heard me a lot in the saying that we have to be professionals in this business. When I mean professional, you don't have to work 8 hours a day or anything like that, but it's conduct yourself as a professional. And it's why it's so important for me to put this up front. Many other companies, many other people tell you that you're going to make a fortune, but they don't tell you that you all depend on you. We are there to work with you, but doesn't depend on us. Keep that in mind. But anyway, 7 weeks to celebration. And I hope all of you, and I see several people, tons of people on the call right now, I'm going to see you at the celebration. This celebration is really interesting, and I'm going to do a really short commercial. And 2011 was a turning point for Isagenix because it was the celebration that Product B was introduced. Well, this celebration is going to be another turning point, and you're going to see when you get there why. Also, we are going to speed up our way to be $1 billion per year company. Right now, we accumulate over $2 billion, but right now we are on our way to become $1 billion company, and it could be in the next 3 years or even less. But anyway, go to celebration. But the reason I'm having the 7 weeks is because it's time for us to speed up too. Now, what if in 7 weeks, and I'm going to put these numbers here, and you can adopt the one that you feel more comfortable with. What if you increase by 5 cycles a week in 7 weeks? This is about 49 days, and actually it's a little more than that for conventions, 53 days. But what if you increase by 5 cycles a week? This is about $270 a week or an extra $1,040 per month. Now, keep in mind this number. What would you do with this amount of money extra coming every month? Probably you would do a lot of great things. Don't talk about bills, although some of you say, I would pay my bills. Well, that's okay, but it's probably going to be paying your car or your groceries, for some of you, the mortgage or the rent of the house. Now, what if it's by 10 cycles? $540 per week or $2,080 per month. And by the way, that's in a 4-week month. $2,080 per month. What would you do? I'm sure many of you, the numbers are coming into your head really quick. Now, I'm going to add one more, and I didn't have this one in the newsletter. What if you increase by 20 cycles? This is $1,080 per week or over $4,000 per month. I know some of you probably will quit your job. Is this possible in 7 weeks? Well, I'm here to tell you that yes, it is possible because many people have done it. And the first thing that we have to know is to believe that this is going to happen. But I'm not going to go into beliefs right now. We are going to go a little into the how to. But I just want for you to keep in mind that your mindset is the secret for all this to happen. Is to believe that it's going to happen, because if you don't have the right mindset, then you are not going to do what I'm showing you in the screen, and you are not going to do the plan that I'm going to propose you in a second. But by the way, many of you say, yeah, really, I have not done anything. I haven't been in Isagenix for 7 years or 6 years. How do I know that I'm going to do more than what I have done before? Well, We don't know, or you don't know until you decide that it's time to change. And things can change really quick. But anyway, I'm going to propose you a plan that may help you to get there. Again, there are 3 different numbers that I put on the screen: the 5 cycles, the 10 cycles, and the 20 cycles. That was $1,080 a month, 1,040 a month, 2,080 per month, or 4,132 per month. Now, this is the plan. Step 1. Find a couple of Isagenix success stories, and in a second I'm going to tell you how you do that. Make sure that those stories connect with you. We have many in Isagenix, many stories. I mean, and we see there's a place, and I'm going to show you later what is this place that you see. Oh, oops, sorry. What is this place that you see down there? Okay. Anyway, let me go back to the presentation. I'm going to show you where you find this page, where you have a lot of testimonials. The next one on the plan is step 2. Tell that story to 5 people every day, 5 days a week, or 100 people in the next 30 days. You can do it in less time if somebody decides to do it in 10 a day or something like that, but no more than 30 days. Tell the story to everybody, people you know, people you meet, people who you already contacted in the past, Facebook, etc. Now, something very important that I want to clarify in this part. You are just going to tell the Isagenix story. You're not going to talk about the products, how great they are, or the business, how great it is. You just tell the story. And when you create a curiosity, you send the person to step 3. For those who want to know more, ask them for their best email address to share with them any of the Isagenix videos, like Experience Isagenix Enterprising Woman, or any video that is related to your story. You're telling a woman's story. Enterprising Woman is an amazing. Experience Isagenix it goes with everything. Or if you are talking about a weight loss story, weight loss, you can send the Isabel challenge or anything like that. But I'm sticking here with the business because I want to find people that want to build the business right away. Now make sure you call them before you send the video link. And ask, and after I call, ask if they are in front of their computer. Send them the link, and when they receive it, ask them to open it. When you hear the sound of the video, the music, tell them that you will call back in 5 to 10 minutes. That's it. Make sure you follow these steps. And by the way, this webinar is going to be, it's being recorded. It's going to be posted sometime tomorrow, and then you can watch it again. But anyway, something I'm going to do too, I'm going to send also the PDF, and that way you can print it out. Now, step 4. If your prospects are local, meet with them or invite them to a home presentation. Follow the steps on how to do a home presentation found in isagenixbusiness.com or your launch party kit that you see a picture right there. As a matter of fact, let me highlight it here in case you didn't see it. Or if they are long distance, send them to a Why Isagenix video and your website. Really simple. It's on your back office, and excuse me, on your website, not the back office, on your regular website. If you don't know how to do it, make sure you ask the upline how to find that video, but it's really simple. But again, follow these steps. It's really simple what I'm teaching you right now. If you feel uncomfortable, do it with your upline. Now, step 5, and this is really important, you follow up. Now, we have the script for follow-up and howtogetgoing.com, and follow-up is very important because the fortune is in the follow-up. As a matter of fact, if one of the reasons most people fail is because they don't follow up with anybody, seriously, or they get discouraged because the person didn't sign up right away. Let me tell you the news. Most people are not going to sign up the day that you talk to them. It took me 10 months to sign up with Isagenix after Jimmy talked to me the first time, 10 months. But anyway, the fact is that facts tell, but stories sell. It's interesting. The fact is that facts tell, stories sell. And it's why you are going to be using only stories. Just tell the story. This is an experiment for you to see what could happen after you tell the story to 100 people. Now, let's go. Using your own story. You can use your own story. You feel that you have a good story. And by the way, all of you have stories, just as sometimes you don't think so because you didn't lose 100 pounds or because you are not making $1 million a day or anything like that. But there is a video that I sent on my presentation. There's a 6-minute video that teaches you how to create your own story. But here in a nutshell, where you were before Isagenix. For example, before Isagenix, I was tired all the time and with no hope. the second step, where you are now after being in Isagenix. Today I have more energy, I lost 5 pounds, and I get paid a few $100s every week because I tell my story, or a few $100s every month. They even give me a holiday bonus every December. That's, of course, brand new. Step 3, your goal for the future or where you are going. By the way, this is part is so important, the step 3 and 4, because many experts in network marketing that teach how to create a story, they miss these 2 steps, the 3 and 4. You have to tell people where you are going, because when people know where you are going, and they feel more confident to work with you. People without vision perish. You probably heard that before. Now, step 4, what you are sharing with them. Again, really important. What is in it for them? And here I have the reason I'm sharing this with you is because I know you and I together can earn a lot of money. And this is the blueprint of how you can create your own story. Now, this is when you are creating your own story. If you feel that you don't have a strong story, remember, you are going to use other people's stories. For example, when telling other people's stories, the fact is, or what you're going to do is to create curiosity with openings like, for example, let me tell you something I just found out. Or, you're not going to believe what I found out today. Or, let me tell you a fascinating story. And you say, well, how can that work with me? For example, let's suppose that you are talking about Gilbert. She lost over 130 pounds. And you say, let me tell you something I just found out. This woman, she's been overweight all her life since she was a little girl. That's why you have to know the stories, by the way. And this woman lost in a year over 120 pounds. And not only that, she's making a 6-figure income telling the story. And just shut up, wait for them to, or you're not going to believe that what I found out today. This guy is a butcher, 85 years old, and these guys are earning over $2 million a year telling stories. And shut up, wait for them to ask you. Most people, the reason many times we scare people is because we talk too much. Or let me tell you a fascinating story. This guy barely spoke any English, used to wash dishes, and now this guy is earning a 7-figure income telling stories. Just let them ask you something. If they don't, just pass. After telling the story, say something like, Janet, let's suppose that after I told, the reason I'm telling you this story is because I believe that you and I can do the same thing or better if we do it together. And then you say, and then you go through this following steps, the steps that I said before. Okay, what is your best email address? And when you're there in front of the computer, etc. But you see how simple it is. You don't have to talk about the products. You don't have to talk about the paid plan or Isagenix. You are telling stories. Remember, stories sell, facts tell. Now, where did you find other stories? Well, here is your website. As you see here, you click on people. And then you click in success stories. Really simple. And then when you click in success story, this is what is going to come up. A page that has all these 6 areas of success. We have, as you see, we have weight loss stories and health stories. We have Isabadi challenge, all the Isabadi challenge stories, and this is amazing, as you see here. We have business stories, and these are people that are not millionaires yet, but they have business stories. We have the 100 and 200 pound clubs. We have athlete stories. We have millionaire stories. I mean, there are tons of stories right there. And you can just read them and make sure. You know what is sad? That I've seen people in Isagenix that have been in Isagenix for years, and they have never read on any of these stories. And guys, one of the reasons, many of you that know me, I tell a lot of stories when I'm talking, because I read them, because I know stories are selling people more than anything else, more than the facts. Everybody tries to get the facts. The facts don't work in most cases unless you are talking to a person that is really analytical, like a Vulcan. That's a bad joke, by the way. But anyway, next one. Now, this is another place. It's called weightlosshallofame.net. You can go there, and you're just gonna see hundreds of testimonials right here. Weight loss and also athletes, hundreds of them. Really cool site. Also, the ISA News, and all of you probably got the ISA News. The cool thing is that you can find this magazine also on the back issues and your back office. You go to the back office, and then you go to the library and click in business tools, and you're going to have all the back issues of ISA News. And you just click on them, and then you can read all the different stories. And there are tons of stories on each magazine. This is a must. And again, it's sad to meet sometimes people, Isagenix distributors that have been in Isagenix for a long time, and when they receive this magazine, they don't even open it. And that's sad, guys, because this is one of the keys of success, stories, stories. Now, you can find more stories asking your upline, asking other associates, listen to the corporate calls. We have those corporate calls also on the back office. Check your library in your back office. I'm using not only this magazine that I saw you before, but also the weekly updates. Go to events. This is really important because you basically can interview people. Check your ISA emails in your back office because many times they have different success stories. Almost every week you have a success story coming up. Now, after you do this for the next 4 weeks or less, you will have told 100 people a story. Let's see what happened to your business. Does it sound intriguing and exciting? What do you think will happen? I cannot tell you because that depends on you and if you do it the way that I'm telling you. It's so important, by the way, that you tell those stories with excitement. Now, 100 people in 30 days or less, for some of you, is more than what you have done in the last 12 months. It will be a stretch, but as I said in the past, the things that you want reside out of your comfort zone. One more thing, even if you do it in 4 weeks, you will still have 3 more weeks to convention or to celebration. Repeat the process again, tell the story of our stories to 100 people more in 3 weeks. Now, again, some of you are saying, I don't know enough people. Remember, if you are being in Isagenix for a while, and you say that you talk to everybody, I bet if you talk to 100 people, go back to them. You are just going to tell the story. Remember, I told Jimmy no many times. As a matter of fact, I told him the first or the second time that he called me that he needed a psychiatrist. Why are you going to be afraid? Gosh, if somebody is telling me that I need a psychiatrist, but eventually it's going to make me millions of dollars like I did for Jimmy, I call that person back. But tell stories, stories. Now, that is the challenge. Use the tools and remember that your purpose is not to say how great Isagenix is. Just tell a story, create curiosity, and send your prospects to a tool. Again, what happens if in 7 weeks any of those things happen? What if you increase by 5 cycles, by $1,000 per month, by 10 cycles or $2,000 per month, by 20 cycles or $4,000 per month? Any of this would make any difference? And this is just the beginning, because if you keep doing these things, eventually, who knows, one day you're going to be doing this, writing a book, my Isagenix story, my success story, Isagenix Millionaire, your name. Anyway, guys, that's what I wanted to tell you today, your challenge. And one of the things that I'm going to suggest, get an accountability partner with the one you are going to be telling them, or him or her, how many people you actually told a story today, tomorrow, and the next 7 weeks. Okay, Alex, are you there? I know you have, I hope you don't have a lot of static that you had before, because I would like to see if anybody has any questions.
Yeah, George, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, you don't have the static anymore.
Yeah,
Okay,
I know.
cool.
I just, my mistake. I pushed the wrong button before.
Oh, okay. Wow, I just realized we have tons of people in the call.
Yeah, yeah. And actually, for those of you who are
But,
new, just remember if you want to ask a question of George, just go to the top right of your GoToWebinar control panel, and you should be seeing a place where you can enter your questions. It works just like a chat box. And boy, George, I'm really excited because it's really amazing. Even I guess anyone could really use an extra 10 or 20 cycles a week. Even you probably.
yeah. Oh,
I know I could.
I had, oh, gosh, even Jimmy Smith, I bet Jimmy Smith had an extra $1,000. Who knows? Probably he doesn't even know the difference anymore. But an extra $1,000, guys. Okay, what can you do with an extra $1,000?
A
Think
week.
about that. Even if you have the money of the planet right now, it's still an extra $1,000. What can you do? You don't need the money for yourself. Just give it away to a cause. you're making a big change for somebody with those $1,000.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's amazing how quickly things can change for some people. You know, I've
Yes.
you were talking about the stories, and and we continuously keep on hearing stories about people that went from cycling a respectable 40, 50, 60, 80, 100 cycles a week, but to maximizing in just a matter of a few months.
Yes, things can change really quick. I remember Lori Harder. I remember when she was cycling about 8 to 10 times a week. Now you say, "Whoa, that's cool. I would like to have that." Yeah, but just in a few months only, she was going over 200 cycles and now over 300 cycles. Lori Harder started in 2011. It's 2 years, and the same with Lynn Hager and many other people are growing really quick. You One of the stories that you're gonna see on the stories that, as a matter of fact, let me go back. Oops, I don't know what happened because the whole thing got okay. But anyway, one of the stories that I show you, here, let's see, in this page, okay. Okay, well, it doesn't want me to cooperate. Well, anyway, one of the stories that's on your page, on your Isagenix page, I was reading and I was interested. It's one of the newest stories. Was talking how this guy, his goal was to make a car payment. Here it is. That was his goal. Suddenly, in a year, it became a six-figure income. But that was his goal. Car payment. You see here? But it's because he is really smart. He saw that he could cover the car payment, and I bet he thought, well, I probably can get a few more dollars to cover now my groceries and my mortgage, etc. And we see people that never done network marketing. Like, for example, Holly DeMott. Holly DeMott was not cycling a lot for a year or so, probably more than a year in ICN, probably 2 years, and now she's a millionaire with a huge, strong multi-six-figure income per year. And those stories are amazing. She used to work in the corporate world, and she was really overweight. She lost over 100 pounds in Isagenix. She won one of the Isagenix Isabella challenge, and after that is when she realized, I have a great story. I can build a business. What about athletes? You know who is this? This is William Gold. He's not only got a gold medal as an Olympic athlete, but also a Super Bowl champion. Why he's using the products? Tell the stories. Medical doctors, why he's telling a story. And by the way, when you click there, you're going to have more stories. Millionaires, tons of stories here from people that have been in network marketing and never been in network marketing either way. Guys, this is amazing when you tell stories. And that was one of the things that Jimmy did with me for 10 months. Almost every time that he was calling me, he was telling me somebody else's story, the success story. Any comments, Alex, or I don't know if there's any questions.
Yeah, actually, we do have a question out here, and it's a real good one. It's, how do you overcome the fear of just getting on the phone?
Okay, probably the best way. First of all, one of the things that I like to do is I have a mantra. I start to say to myself any kind of mantra. You can use your own words, or I say I choose to be the best person on the telephone, and I still repeat it to myself before I go on the telephone. But better than that, together with that, is imagine the first time that you jump in a swimming pool. You didn't know it was cold or not, and you were afraid that was going to be cold. Of course, this is a little example. Or when you learn how to swim, then you jump in the pool, and then you realize that after a while you felt really comfortable in the pool. That's the best way, is jumping into it. Jumping into it. And remember, you are going to tell your story. You are calling your friend. Let's suppose that you are calling your friend Mary, and she say, hey, Mary, after a small talk, you say, Mary, I have to tell you the story of this person. And then you tell any story. You can say, this guy is funny. He wanted to just make some payments of his car, and suddenly he's earning a six-figure income. I can't believe it. It's amazing. And the only thing that he's doing is telling stories. And by the way, every successful people, when you talk to anybody in the convention, they are storytellers. Jimmy Smith is a great example. Lynn Hager, if you heard She's keep telling stories. Lisa De Mayo. I mean, all the successful people tell stories. But anyway, that's the way. It's just like a regular conversation. And if the person sounds dead, doesn't say anything after you tell them an amazing story, just continue. You don't have to convince everybody. You just sign up few people, the people that want to work with you. And that's a mistake that many people think is because we joined the business, we think that everybody's going to join. Guys, you're going to have more no's than yes. And I say many times in my emails, and I know some people don't like it because they don't want the idea of rejection, but they are not rejecting you. They are rejecting the message because they are not ready. As simple as that. But the best way again is jumping on it, on the call.
Yeah, and I do want to add one thing. It's like even now I'm still sometimes hesitant to get on the phone, and I'm a veteran of getting on the phone. I've got so far over 1,500 people that have said no to me, and whenever I get into this position, I always think, well, it definitely is worth it. And by the way, none of the 1,500 that said no to me was really a traumatic experience. It was just many times it was just not the right time for the person. But they are nice conversations for the most part. There's very few people that are. Uh,
Oh yeah, well, I imagine, for example, for um, a, I don't know how much I earned so far. The company say that I'm closing the $5 million, but it's interesting that the most of the people I ever contact are not to, and when I say most, a chunk of them, just very few people that have said yes. And interesting, even the ones that say yes, most of them don't say yes right away. It's why I have this on the screen. The fortune is in the follow-up. You have to follow up with them, and many times it's more than 3, 4, or 5 times. With me, Jimmy Smith follow up for 40 weeks. 41 weeks are the 10 months that took me to sign up. Some people say, I don't want to do that. Well, Jimmy Smith said in a convention that our group earned him a couple $1 million so far or more. Just one group, just because he was calling doing follow-up. But again, the most important part is to jump into the telephone and talk to people. That's it. That's the best way to get rid of the fear. The other thing is important, and this is something that I probably going to have in a training later, is to think about how Isagenix can benefit the other person, because the way that you go up in this business by helping others to find their goals. And when you are every time when I'm talking to somebody, always thinking how Isagenix can benefit them. When I call Alex the first time, before I call Alex, I was repeating myself. Okay, first of all, because he was in another company, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't come across bad. And then I was thinking how he could benefit with the business. And the call went so well that you gave me the credit card without knowing exactly what the product was. Remember?
yeah, but it took you a whole like 30 seconds or so.
Yeah, it was really quick. But I did that with everybody. I do that. How Isagenix can benefit the person that you're talking to. And that also can give you more courage of calling the person, because it's not about you. As soon as you start thinking, oh, gee, if this person is going to make me a lot of money, and you forget about how the person can be benefited with Isagenix, you're going to have a hard time sponsoring people. And you're going to feel really uncomfortable because in your subconscious, you're thinking, I'm trying to get this person to make more money. But if you say, how can I help that person to make more money? Can I get this person to get more their dreams? Then you are going to feel way more comfortable. And I tell you one thing, that's the same attitude that you're going to have after they become distributors, because as the more you help them to go up in ranks and in cycles, you are going to go up in ranks and cycles too.
That's definitely true. Now, we have here a quick question from Cecilia, which, by the way, she's going for those 20 cycles, 20 extra cycles. But she does want, uh, she came in late and she wanted to find out about the PowerPoint slides that she missed at the beginning, if you'll be making them available.
Yeah, I'm going to put it into a PDF file that when the video is uploaded, like in the past we have done with some of the presentation, we are going to upload also the PDF.
Yeah, and this will be at the howtogetgoing.com site. We will have the video replay of this webinar, and in that same post, we will have a link to the PDF.
That's
And
right.
let's see here, Dwayne. And of course, Dwayne, he's making a very good point, and it's that sometimes it's best to have your upline on a three-way uh, call. How would that work, George?
Yeah, and the fact, well, yes, well, when you're telling the story, not necessary because you are just telling the story. And the follow-up, yes. Now, because we remember the challenge here that we are doing is just to tell stories, and to bring your upline. Let's suppose that I'm calling you Alex and say, Alex, hey, I have a great story to tell you, but instead myself telling it, I have somebody else on the line. It doesn't sound right,
Yeah, that wouldn't
and
work.
because you are telling stories. Now, in the follow-up, yes, you're going to do three-way calls, or you are approaching somebody for the business. Yes, you are going to do a three-way call right away. But here, what we are doing is an experiment. What will happen when you tell stories? What will happen when you tell stories? Now, can you have the three-way call, the upline? Yeah, you can, but the upline has to make sure that he or she is going to tell stories too, if they are going to do it. But again, if remember, you are going to be making about telling the story at least 5 times a day. When I say at least, because some people want to do it quicker than in the 30 days, and many times you are not going to have your upline available. And that's why this is just a simple exercise. As you saw in the video that I sent on Monday, I sent a video together with the first recording where Eric Ward is talking about the 100 story challenge. You're going to see that it's simple. It's really simple. But if you want to involve your upline, that's okay. Although again, if you want to make 5 or 6 or 10 a day, you're going to be doing a lot of them by yourself. But it's really simple. Tell a story, and then you said, the reason I'm sharing this story with you is because I know you and I can do really well, do better than this story. And like, what is the best email to send you a link? And that's it. Now, the follow up, yeah, make sure you have the three-way call with the upline. The follow up is really important.
Okay, great. So let's see here. Okay, the rest are just basically comments, positive comments on your webinar, and welcoming you back, George. So if you guys don't have any more questions, then let's start wrapping this up. Let's see. Yeah, looks like there's no more questions.
Okay.
So, George, I thank you. And just before you go, and now that Eric Ward has that challenge of the 100 stories. You mentioned, at least 5 stories a day. Uh, it comes to mind, and maybe you know the numbers from one of the top millionaires in the industry, Mark Yarnell. What how many calls a day or contacts a day he recommends if you want to become a six-figure earner or so. Do you remember
Well, yeah,
those
Mark
numbers?
Janelle, he was my first coach, and his goal was to have at least 30 people that he contact every day, 30 a day, 5 times a week, and for a whole year. And he said, if you do that for 12 months, you're going to be close to $100,000 per month in 12 months. And he has proved it over and over again that's the case. 30 people a day. For those of you that don't know Mark Janelle, he was written by several people as the best networker in the world. He's really aggressive. And by the way, the 2 hours a day, he was doing all that in 2 hours a day. He was not spending the whole day because he was going quick with the story, finding the person, and then of those 30, he said usually he was signing up almost one person a day because obviously with those numbers. And then he was duplicating really quick because many people were doing the same that he was doing, and he was using the tools. When I was in his organization, that was years ago in another company, the way that we were doing it, we were passing out audio cassettes and videos and using voicemail. That was basically what we were doing. But Yeah, marginal. And by the way, Eric Ward, going back to Eric Ward, he has a book called GoPro, and I have recommended before in the past. Guys, I recommend it for you to get that book because it's a great extra education on network marketing. He's the one that has the video that I told you that talks the 100 story challenge. For those of you, let's set up this goal to become a 2-star. I think it's a 2-star for convention. And I know some of you say, but I know even a just consultant or just starting out. Set up the goal because in the convention, at the leadership meeting that they do before convention, this is only with the 2-star and up. The keynote speaker is going to be Eric Worre. The company has not said anything yet, but I know he's going to be there. But I already know anyway. Doesn't matter how I know it. But anyway, but make sure you set up the goal. That's a great guy. His books are great. And many of the things that I taught in the past, if you read the book, you say, gosh, George has said that. Now, it's not that I learned it from him, but both of us come from the same school of network marketing. Very similar school, the same that Mark Janelle and Kathy Coover, etc. We come from the same school, Michael Klaus, and obviously Lynn Hageron right now. All of us come from the same school of network marketing. It's interesting that all of us are in Isagenix right now. But anyway, that's what I want. When I say, and when you say, what do you mean that they're at the same school? Well, it's what is called the fundamentals of network marketing. And basically, we are in the same school. Anyway.
Yeah, and just one more comment from Dwayne. You know, he basically also suggests that for support to call your upline or accountability partner to let them know that you're starting to make the call and get
Yes.
their support. So
Yes,
thanks.
I agree with Dwayne. That's a great point. Yeah, make sure that when you're going to start this, call your upline. Now, if your upline is kind of sleepier, just find somebody that is going to be accountable with you and say, I'm starting to do this. And many of you say, well, why my upline is not going to listen to me? Well, you're going to believe it or not, there are some people that are so sleepers that doesn't matter that they know that you are going to make money for them. For some reason, you have to find somebody else. But find an accountability partner. It's really important because you are going to keep accountable with each other, and you don't have to be in the same line. If you are in the same line, it's an advantage, but you don't have to.